is the president of Pennsylvania Alliance for Retired Americans.
Good morning, everybody. Great seeing this great turnout. Every time we come up, there's more and more people coming up. I'm also president of the SOAR Retirees at the Carton Cookbook. So we identify with the retired steelworkers, and we know some of the problems you've had. I live in Bell Vernon. I'm right in the little corner where Mark is my representative, and I was always very proud of Congressman Murtha for everything he did and everything he brought back to our area. So I knew that Mark was his staff man, and I was very pleased when he came on board and ran to fill his seat. And I certainly think he's the man to do it for us. You know, in the spring, my phone rang, and I had messages from the Burns campaign. I still have a couple. I've saved them on my message. But, you know, all of a sudden, my phone's quiet now. Yeah. So I really don't miss them. I think the fact that Mark stood up right away and talked about Social Security, that he would preserve it, was the reason he ran. When Burns would not commit himself, he actually said what he would do with it, and that's certainly not what we want. Social Security today, for the people in the future, it's going to be the only sure retirement that they're going to have. And we really have to fight really hard to keep Social Security. Defined benefit pensions are disappearing. 401ks are a risk in the stock market, as many of you know out there. So we certainly back Mark on his stance, and we hope that we get him back in Washington. What we talked about was having like a little meeting where you could ask the questions that you have on Social Security. Anyone in the audience have any questions? We're all going to participate in this. No questions?
What about the log box? Did I say about the log box?
Well, that disappeared with Rick Santorum, didn't it?
They said the government's taking all the money and spending it and just put the slip in it, that's all.
Well, you know, Mark, do you have anything to say on it?
Yeah, I work also with the National Committee to preserve Social Security and Medicare, and working. I'm also on the task force for seniors in the Congress, and that money is there. They talk about that the government is taking money out and not putting any money in. That money is all guaranteed through bonds. What the government does is it buys bonds when your deductions are taken out of your checks. It goes in, the government buys bonds. And what they do sometimes is they do move money around. But that money is guaranteed. The U.S. government has never missed paying a debt that it owed. And it won't going forward. So all that money is guaranteed by U.S. savings bonds. So when they say that, and see, this is one of the things, and you have to watch this. This is the Republicans are using sort of like code words. They talk about personalization. They talk about personal accounts. What they're saying is they want to take. See, this is one of the things. They're after that money. There is so much money. There's $2.6 trillion that they would love to move to Wall Street. And what they're trying to do is create this fear that money's not there. That money's there. It's guaranteed. It will be there going forward. Now, like I said, we have some issues. We have to start looking at making decisions now so that in 2037 it doesn't go from 100% to 75%. That it continues at 100%. So we have some work to do, and that's what I said earlier. We're elected to lead. Well, we have to stand up, and we have to stand up and figure out what the best way is. And this isn't a Democrat, it can't be a Democrat solution or a Republican solution or an independent solution. We have to all figure out what the solution is going forward. But there's $2.6 trillion that they would love to get their hands on. In fact, at the debate the other night, my opponent said, they asked him who he was going to support for Speaker. And he said, well, I don't care that John Boehner wants to privatize Social Security and Medicare. I'm voting for him for Speaker. So this is where they're really pushing this. And Paul Ryan, who's the budget chairman, has already talked that he would like to see Medicare go away and then Social Security go on the stock market. So, I mean, you hear these words, listen to what they're saying. They try to hide it in their rhetoric, but they want that money very badly. And it's up to us, and that's why I've signed the pledge. I've signed on the legislation so that they can't raise the retirement age from 67 to 70 like Boehner had, and that's why I'm on the task force, and that's why I'm working to do these things. So that's guaranteed by the U.S. government. That money will be there.
I guess so Boehner's going to be the next Speaker of the House, according to you see his magazine there.
Let's hope not.
Well, my personal view is, Democrats are gonna lose some seats. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think they're gonna lose the House, though. I think it's gonna be much closer, though. So, you know, I do believe we're gonna lose some seats, but actually, I started reading the paper today, there's actually a couple Republican seats that are gonna split to Democrats, so it might not be as big a win as the Republicans are predicting. And if you don't remember, I wasn't supposed to win. Oh my goodness, this was gonna be the big Republican wave, starting with Mark Critz. Jack Murphy's seat was gonna go to the Republicans, and the Republican wave was gonna start. And I'll tell you a story. Carl Rove had a press conference already all set up at Kennemeadow over in Lake Trove. They had all the trucks in, all the cable news stations were going to be at Kennemeadow so that they could announce the Republican wave. We put an end to that. Let's do it again.